Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBO NYG Podcast. I am Mike. That is Jules. That is John. Guys, it's crazy. The Italian Stallion. We got our own Rocky. It's DeVito mania here in New York. It's wild. Cutlets everywhere. Wow.
I'm just gonna jump in real quick.
Crazy.
I don't know if I'm gonna excuse myself early. Not that I don't always go on rants, not that I don't always interrupt, not that I always don't shut the fuck up. But I'm gonna do my best to not control to try to control myself tonight because of all the shit that I can go on. But I'm just putting it out there.
Well, listen, okay? I'm talking to two Italians that must just be fucking in love with the fucking Giants right now.
All right, but I do got special is cutlets.
Yeah, I want some right now. I gotta admit, last time I watched the game, I was fiending for chicken parm. It was fucking crazy. They kept mentioning cutlets, so you can't do that to me. It's like when they put those Wendy's or Burger King commercials on all the time, and then you're like, fuck, why is my mouth fucking drooling? But let me throw something out at you guys, and then whoever wants to answers first. DeVito. I gotta give Brian Daboll a lot of credit for this kid. I think he did a good job. I think he brought him along slowly. I mean, everybody was complaining when he first got in for Tyrod Taylor when he got hurt against the Jets. He didn't let him throw the ball. But you know what? The more I thought about it, I'm like, if he let him throw the ball against the Jets defense, with the Jets defense phenomenal, and he threw a couple picks or whatever, and the Giants ended up losing anyway. But if he looked horrible, what does that say about his confidence going into the future games when you needed that kid for the pretty much now it looks like the rest of the season? I think, to be honest, going back at that moment, I was probably on the fence. But I was like, why is he not throwing? Why is he not throwing? We had the game. Unfortunately, we lost that game. It sucks. But I think he did the right thing. Got this kid more practice time, starters with the reps. And then the Giants schedule kind of got, easier after Jones came back against Oakland. DeVito went back in, and I think he got more practice time, brought him along very nicely. And he's doing a really solid job. Who he reminds me of is Danny Cannell. How Danny Cannell came back at the Giants. He didn't provide that great quarterback play where he's throwing fucking 10 touchdowns a game or whatever, like, Eli or whatever. But he managed the game pretty well, kept the Giants winning, got to the playoffs a little bit, had a nice little team. I think I got to give credit to Daboll on that. And just a guy that, kind of reminded me of him. What do you think about Daboll's show?
I mean, you said it, bro. The first game, we all sat on here saying, like, obviously, like, they don't trust him to throw the ball, and rightfully so. How much time did he spend throwing the ball to any of the people that were on the field that he was throwing to / blocking for him, which, with the amount of injuries they had to the offensive line, maybe more than we'd like to admit. But there was nothing to suggest in that first outing that we would be sitting here, a month later saying, what's going on here? The kid's got fucking, some of the best stats in the league in the last 3 games, just not turning the ball over, completing at a high percentage, making big plays when big plays need to be made. And I don't think anybody's under any, illusion that this kid's the savior of the franchise or anything like that. I think we all realize that this is a fun, chapter of, maybe a less bright story when it's all said and done. But just for the time being, just be able to, like, kind of, especially like you said, Mike, is, me and Jules are Italian, like, father's from Sicily, like my whole family's just Italian, like the whole thing. Fucking brought out the fucking Italian watch, that little red, white, and green for your boy. But it's just fun, bro. It's fun to, like, I don't say it's fun to not have the pressure of trying to make the playoffs because we stunk in the first 8 games of the season. But the fact that there is no pressure on to do anything great, but they're still able to win games, still able to make it fun, and Daboll going ahead and, seemingly getting blood from a stone, it shows, that he knows what he's doing as far as getting his players prepared to play the game, knowing what he has in his players and when he has in his players is another big thing. It's one thing for them to know that DeVito could throw a nice ball and, play well. when he's in some kind of pro camp or something like that, or like scouting camp or whatever it is. But to see that, understand that, like, he's not ready yet in game one, and then get his feet wet in game two, and then let him actually start playing ball in games 3, 4, and 5, and him go out there and execute the way he has. The credit goes all around to DeVito, to fucking the quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and especially in this case, Brian Daboll. So kudos to all of them.
Funny, Mike, that his story begins with that Jets game, right? It's really funny because that's like a game that's in my like the thorn in my side currently. Because if we would have won that fucking game, and I know you've said this a bunch of times as well.
Why bring it up?
We're in the playoff hunt. We're literally in the fucking playoff hunt on that.
We are right now.
Game. That one game. And if you
want to get out.
I know, but I'm just saying, but we got 2 against Philly, and we got to go 2 on the road now. I mean, we'll get to all that later on, but like, let's stay in the moment for a second. That one game, because you could say Buffalo, maybe we could have pulled the upset, and you figure Seattle or the Raiders, we were kind of supposed to win one of those 2 games, and shit just went differently. And if you remember that first half of that Seattle game, Seattle was begging us to fucking take over and win that game, but we just lost Andrew Thomas, a whole Muslim that's going on. But it's funny, it goes back to that, because you're right. I mean, because this conversation would be so much different if we would have won that Jet game and he wins that game in the fashion we did last night. Because all of a sudden now, we're talking about shit. If we split with Philly and win the rest of the other games, we're probably in the playoffs. Probably.
You're almost guaranteed to be in the playoffs.
I mean, but that's just fucking insane to say, right?
I ain't talking 6 wins, split with Philly 7, win the rest is 8 and 9 wins. Yeah, you're a playoff team if you win 9 games.
That one game. So I mean, like, and I get it. Look, the comment further on that, I'm not going to say, the way they handled it in the weather that it was in against one of the top defenses in the league, a dude coming literally basically off the practice squad and onto the field. You want to talk about getting off the couch? That's fucking basically getting off the fucking couch. It's in better shape, all right? Like, you're coming off the practice squad against one of the top defenses in the league in one of the worst weather games that we played all year. Yeah, okay. I understand why we didn't throw the ball, but man, does that just fucking suck that one fucking game would be a whole different conversation. And you brought up Danny Cannell. I got a better comparison. He reminds me of a former number 15 quarterback for the New York Giants. Hostetler. Hostetler wasn't this guy that's going to
Jules is dreaming big right now.
Yards. Wow. He was scrappy. He got the job done. He didn't turn the ball over. He could run when he had to. All right, like, it's an old school Giant to bring into the mix. But man, it's funny how that number 15 in that backup position has created some magic and got this whole fucking town talking. All right, like,
if DeVito grows a mustache, and then maybe I'll like the comparison more. But yeah, last night you guys were watching a game. What the fuck was up with that guy in the mafioso Godfather?
Oh, he's just playing a fucking
agent
goof, bro.
I mean,
he's laying into the thing. He's Italian too.
Was it Halloween?
Well, that was the whole idea. It was the whole idea was to just fucking play it up, like, we're all fucking Italians, like, whatever. And
was that his agent, John, or was that part of his family?
No. It was his agent.
Oh, was
his agent's also Italian. I think Stiletto was his last name or whatever it is. Stiletto, like, he's a fucking, as they say, which I don't like the word paisan, but he's a paisan.
Is that offensive to you guys?
No. It just means friend in Italian. But like, I don't know. Just for some reason, that word just always made me cringe. But just Italian people love it, so I have to just give it whatever. But anyway, he only got that fucking outfit just because it was just for the spectacle of it. Like, they realized that. They realized that this isn't supposed to be what's going on. It's almost Hollywood-esque, and they realized that this is probably a good chance that this might be the pinnacle of his entire football career. And why not? If they're all friends, they're all fucking like family and stuff like that. Like, why not enjoy it? What's the alternative? Just be there all fucking buttoned up and just be like, oh yeah, this is, let's get him ready for his next contract and moves. That's not what they're thinking about right now. They're thinking about we're an undrafted quarterback that happened to be drafted by picked up by the local team, and just by freak injuries to 2 quarterbacks, we ended up getting on the field, and it's worked out, and it's fucking fun, and everybody's having a blast. And let's just enjoy it. That's all that.
And listen,
does that family live by you, John?
What?
Is that
Nah,
family
they're
live by you?
way. They're up on the New York State border, bro. They're from
Oh, okay.
Ramsey. They're
Yeah,
way the
Ramsey's
fuck
way
up
up
there.
north where Bosco
Yeah.
plays. That's
Okay.
Yeah,
like
he can hit a golf
you're
ball into
almost
fucking
in
New
like
York from there.
what is it? Nassau, not Nassau. The other county that you cross from Westchester when you go over the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Nanuet,
Suffolk.
Pearl
Not
River.
Suffolk.
Oh, Nanuet, Pearl
Yeah,
River,
like the Nanuet area,
Suffolk,
Rockland County. Jesus
Rockland County.
Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah,
all
it's
the way
right
up
above New Jersey.
We went to Syracuse, right? You went to Syracuse College?
Yeah,
I think he went to Syracuse. I think he went to one other place, and he went to Don Bosco Prep in Jersey, which is like a huge football school for
I mean,
high school.
that's like a clinic.
Yeah,
That high school is
it's
like
a
a
big time
clinic.
school.
Big time. Well, I got another question for you guys with the DeVito situation, because now people are comparing, like,
Let me ask you a quick question in between that, right?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Jules interrupting.
I mean, sure, Jules. You said at the beginning of the podcast you weren't going to interrupt, but you're interrupting.
No, but for real.
He interrupted your introduction to say that he's not going to interrupt.
I'm going to play this as a drinking game from now on. You're going to see me get hammered on fucking like bourbon.
There you go. There it is.
We're going to need an ambulance on standby for fucking alcohol poisoning.
Up my stomach.
What do you think? That if
Go ahead, Jules.
if DeVito was drafted in, say, round 3, would the perception of him be the same? Whereas we're now just saying maybe he's going to be a backup, maybe he's going to be this. But the fact that he was a practice squad kid, local kid, still lives at home and all this shit, is that just putting a cloud over him where we're now looking at the ability like he did on that game-winning drive? Because that was a fucking dart to Wendell, okay?
Yeah,
Not only that, he felt
that Isaiah Hodgins.
The pocket was actually collapsing on him. He stayed in there tough as shit, stepped up and throws a dime down the sideline for basically the game-winning pass. I mean, so, I think he's got 2 major tests ahead of him in the next 2 weeks, which will really see what kind of a quarterback he is. But let's get back to that question. Would the perception be different if he was drafted in round 3?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the entire allure of the draft, is the potential of what you're getting and, the slotting of where you are. And you take a quarterback. Listen, no one's going to draft a quarterback in round 3 expecting to have Russell Wilson. Like, that's not generally what ends up happening. That's as long shots get. But if you're going to reduce it all the way down to not even being drafted, the perception is completely different. He's going in there as a guy who should be doing nothing more than folding towels, and he's leading the team to come back wins at home in primetime. Yeah. So he gets the parallel universe. He gets drafted in the 3rd round by the Giants. Now you have a whole different thing on your hands, because now that also starts the season off with, do the Giants have faith in Daniel Jones, this and that? Daniel Jones goes out there and they lose 40-0 to the Cowboys.
That was my question.
Now it's DeVito. What do we see in DeVito? Daniel Jones is the guy right from fucking the first half of week 1. Then Jones gets hurt. There's no Tyrod Taylor, goes automatically to DeVito. He's playing the tougher teams, and no one's sitting here with a fucking red, white, and green watch on.
That's why I think nobody's really taking it that seriously, because it's like, that undrafted. That's what it is. You're absolutely right. If the higher the round, the more QB controversy he gets. I mean, shit. If we found like the next fucking Tom Brady, you know what I mean? I mean, shit, man, I'll shit myself. That'd be fucking fantastic if we had that. You think I'm just, I'm rooting for anybody that plays well for the Giants. I don't care who the fuck it is. If he takes over Daniel Jones' job somehow next year, but don't forget, guys, the strength of schedule really like kind of fucking went downhill. If it was reversed and the Giants had to go play Dallas now, San Fran now, Philly twice, of course, but that's really gonna, that's more of an impact right there.
Also, keep in mind one pretty incredible stat. In the last 4 games, the Giants defense has 12 takeaways.
Unbelievable. Their defense has been unbelievable.
The defense has been unbelievable. But listen to this. They're in first place in the last 4 weeks of football while having a bye.
Wow, that's pretty fucking crazy.
So you gotta think that's not sustainable for any defense in the history of football. So not to say that means that we're automatically start losing.
I wanted to make sure I heard that clearly.
So in the last 4 weeks of the NFL, of all defenses with the most takeaways, the Giants are in first place, but they only played 3 of the last 4 games because they had a bye week. Wow. So there's teams that have played 4 games that don't have as much turnovers as the Giants. So they are certainly taking advantage of, missed opportunities and, letdowns from the teams that they're playing. But I don't know that that's something you can count on for any team ever. Like you just 3-4 takeaways a game is you're playing Madden on rookie. You're not playing NFL football.
No doubt about it. Yeah,
So, Mike, what was your question then?
That was pretty much like tied into my question. What Sean reacted with, going how Jones is like it could be a QB controversy. Are people really taking it seriously because this guy was like undrafted pretty much and just is our third string quarterback? I think it would be back page news like, oh, QB controversy with our back. If this was a guy that was drafted in the second round or third round, it'd be a different fucking story. People be like wanting to kick Jones out, but now it's a whole different situation. Now maybe
it's a combination. Sorry, Mike.
Don't draft a quarterback. Good.
Yeah, it's a combination of the undrafted free agent quarterback as well as a season that was dead, 2-8. Both of those things in conjunction to take away any expectations of the season of any kind whatsoever. So
got me excited. Like
so if the Giants were instead of 8-2, they were 5-3, and then DeVito took over, we would be like, yo, like we need to make sure you play good because we have a season to play for here. But the fact that they were 2-8 getting blown out left and right, it was just like, all right, season's over. Where we sold our tickets in fucking week 3 for the season, like we were done.
That's a lot of people were like a lot of Packers fans were at the game yesterday, and there's still a lot of like a certain population of Giants fans that are still mad that the Giants weren't tanking and weren't losing the games, and they're not excited about this kid winning ball games for the New York Giants. And then you call yourself a fan, it gets me beyond frustrated. Like when the Giants are winning, everything's better. It's just better. Everybody's in a better mood. We have more listeners going on all platforms, even YouTube. Last week we had like 135 views, which is good for us, just people watching us on YouTube. Shout out to the listeners. But when the Giants are playing well, people want to listen to this shit, and when they're losing, nobody wants to hear it. They rather turn on fucking Doja Cat or Britney Spears or some shit,
Doja Cat. World War II documentary in color on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm watching Band of Brothers right now. That show's pretty fucking heavy.
I know. Well, yeah, I'm watching it. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm like episode 3, episode 4. It's like I need to wash this down with a comedy stand-up, bro. This is
that something I should watch?
Band of Brothers. Yeah, it came out like 22 years ago or something like that on HBO original like miniseries. It's like 8 episodes or 10 episodes about the first airborne in World War II. But they interview some of the survivors of World War II, like the veterans, and that they just basically reenact their stories. And it's
worth it.
It's well done, bro. Yeah, like there's times in this you're watching, you're like, bro, like you just close your eyes and envision yourself there, and you're like,
all right,
there's no way I'd ever make it home. Like, there's no way ever. Like, I would be crawling under a fucking barrel, just hoping that someone shoots me in the head, so I just go quickly. Like, heavy, bro. Heavy. Yeah. I mean, war goes on even to today, but that shit is no fucking joke. It's not funny at all. Like, it is
of course not.
Heavy.
Maybe I'll watch it, and that'll be for the Mix It Up podcast. But just get back to the Giants, man. What were you saying?
No, so it definitely is a combination of people that are they're just doing it because they got themselves caught up in the Giants fan community, and they're not fans. They're just trolls sitting at home just fucking around with people because they get their jollies off on it, because there's a few of those that are definitely doing that. Yeah. But then there are some that I don't know if I'll necessarily go as far as calling them a fan, but they're at least really connected. They're not just about all that bullshit. And the whole thing is all this shit circulates around the fact that it has to be for a quarterback. And the Giants got a tank to get a quarterback because this team is one quarterback away from winning a fucking Super Bowl. What the fuck? All right. And the shit that kills me is that I actually took a little bit of the time and I looked at it. And if we look at the top quarterbacks, for example, John, give me 2 top NFL quarterbacks right now.
Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Perfect. Love that. Patrick Mahomes was drafted 10th overall. I'll repeat it again. 10th overall. What pick do we have as Giants right now? We are 8. So a quality quarterback like him went fucking 10th. Where did Josh Allen go, you say? He went 7.
11? 7?
7. Oh, I'm sorry. So we're right fucking there. Go ahead, Mike. Give me another quarterback or two, if you would.
Justin.
I'm not a gaming plan. I'm going to fuck you up, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, right.
I mean, well, Burrow's an exception. Burrow's an exception. We'll give it. So that's one exception for the haters. Two so far for the non-haters, the realists like us.
Yeah.
Mike, throw out a name.
Kirk Cousins.
Why would you go to Kirk Cousins?
Because he went in like the fucking third rounds.
I mean, you're like, I can look him up real quick, but
he puts up. He puts up.
We're fucking up Jules' whole game right now.
Jules is like, I wasn't prepared for all this.
Third round. He was drafted in the third round by the Washington Redskins because they had taken
RG3
that year with the number 2 overall pick. How'd that work out?
It worked out great.
Well, actually, because Kirk Cousins went in the third round out of Michigan State to the same team that took the number 2 pick overall and used it on RG3. So just kind of like putting shit into perspective. It's fucking insane.
A lot of stories like that.
Dak Prescott for a moment. Guy might win the MVP this year. When do you think he was drafted? Just throw out a number, an arbitrary
fourth round,
99,
135th.
Ooh,
man,
to win the fucking MVP possibly. He was drafted 135th. And I name that everybody loves to talk about, especially even if you're a Giants fan, because you can't.
Tom Brady.
Jalen Hurts, 53rd overall.
That's right. That's right.
So, I mean, what? Tua fine, 5th overall. CJ Stroud 1 year, he's 2nd, and Joe Burrow. I dare you to come at me with anybody fucking telling me that I've missed the top 5 quarterback because Justin Herbert, I don't know if we could say him anymore, and now he's out with a broken finger, so I'm not bringing him up, and he was behind Tua at 6. So he's fucking in that mix. You don't need a top 5 pick to get this team quarterback.
Jules,
back in the system.
I hate the fact that we're talking about the draft right now, but
it's just
the fact of the matter is we could do this exercise and you can look back, and we've talked about it 1,000 times in this podcast. You almost don't want the first pick or the second pick because more often than not, that quarterback is the bust. And the guy who is the legacy player is found later on in the first round or even later, like you said, with Dak and Russell Wilson, all these guys being drafted in, mid rounds and all that shit, or Jalen Hurts in the second round or whatever the case is. So it's almost like the blessing and the curse with having this top of the draft pick, because now the way of the world is on this player. And listen, man, you're not getting drafted. I don't care what the fuck it is. Pick 100, pick 1, pick 400. If you don't have the talent to play NFL level quarterback, I think what counts the most for the most part is what's between the ears. And you can't tell me that a player that came from some, wherever the fuck he came from. He came from Manhattan. He came from some fucking town in Idaho, some small 300-person town in Idaho. All of a sudden plays high school, is like the star of their team, goes to college, is the star of their team. And then all of a sudden, bro, is sitting there on some late April fucking evening, getting drafted 1st overall by whatever fucking team it is. And now the weight of $1 billion franchise is on their shoulders. You gotta remember, these kids are early 20s, bro. We were smoking out apples, fucking trying to figure out fucking, how to do what we got to do. Like at 22, 23, 24 years old. We're looking at it as 40-year-old men saying, oh yeah, like mentally, like whatever. But these are kids, bro, and they're taking over franchises. So I would venture to guess, man, if the pressure of that draft status busts more quarterbacks than talent does. So I almost would prefer not to have the 1st overall pick if you look at it from like a statistical standpoint and also from maybe that angle psychologically.
Well, and that's funny because you just reminded me of something from last night in the post fucking interview with DeVito. He basically said, he's like, yo, I didn't think nothing of it when I was going into that final drive. He's like, yeah, this is a kid's game. He goes, I stepped into the game I've been playing since I was 5 years old. And he goes, I went out playing.
Like, right.
Yeah, no pressure, bro. No pressure.
You know what I mean?
That kid's drafted in the 2nd round, let's say, and he's taking over for Daniel Jones. What do they do with Daniel Jones? Or just gave him $160 million? Is this kid DeVito the real deal? All this pressure, and that moment is going to be a milestone or pillar in his young career. But right now, undrafted quarterback, no pressure at all. Go fucking have fun.
It's like that term we use when you're playing with house money. He's got nothing to lose, and he's fucking taking his whatever that expression is. Your 10 seconds of fame. He's running with it. Let the fucking kid have some fun. If we're winning some football games, great. Listen, the reality is, I doubt we beat Philly twice. We got 2 tough road games ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like if he wins, oh. But
Saints are going to be a tough one.
Yeah, forget about that. Then I'll talk the whole show next week.
The Saints are going to be a tough.
That's and not only that, you got to keep
in New Orleans. It's always a tough place, no matter who we have.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, you got to keep in mind they're not only are they fighting for a playoff spot, they could still win their division. Like that's a monster game for them. Like that's a statement game. Here comes in this team that's been red hot. The defense has been hot. Everything's been hot. They're healthy. Kamara's there. Olave's there. Winston's capable to fucking run that team.
I know it's gonna be.
That's a team.
Who's their QB again?
Well, it was David Carr, but last couple of weeks it's been Jameson Winston, which
Carr's been banged up.
Capable quarterback, man.
Very fragile.
Yeah, he throws a lot of picks. He doesn't make great decisions. The guy still threw like 40 touchdowns in the season, though. You know what I mean? Or came damn close to it.
But I tell you, take the under, man, because I think the Giants defense, the way they've been playing, they've been making opposing quarterbacks look like garbage. You know what I mean? I tell you what, though, if we do somehow sneak into the playoffs this year, that'll be 2 years. In his first 2 years at Dable and Goal, got this team in the playoffs, and that's building a winning culture. And I think a lot of people kind of forget about that.
That is the definition of building a winning culture, bro. Especially when you're down, you got knocked down for the second time in the round. You're down two games to 6 losses, 8 weeks in. Quarterback's injured, running back gets injured, left tackle's injured, offensive line has 11 injuries.
Crazy.
Who up and down. Darren Waller's not playing, and
you go on trade away Leonard Williams. Tackles, you trade them.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Trade Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams got traded.
You have all these different things going bad for the team to be able to pull this team from the grave and fucking be able to just make the playoffs. Who cares if they win a game? Like whatever. That's not a big deal. But if you're talking about creating a winning culture, what the fuck else you need to do? Go 16-0?
And listen, you know what? There was another post-game interview or maybe just, locker room reactions and whatnot. And Mike, I don't even think at this point you need to make the playoffs, right? If they split the next 2 out of 4, that would be fucking awesome. You know what I'm trying to say? And
it's still considered winning culture.
With all that going on that John just mentioned, fuck. And then at the end of the day, you have what's slowly becoming one of our main vocal guys on defense, and Sexy Dexy Lawrence, okay? Yeah. And he said at the end of this, I forgot what was said to him, but basically he turned around and he's like, I want to keep this kind of feeling. I mean, when you pull out some of these wins down the end of the year in a season where you had, you're coming off of a high of going to the playoffs or winning a game on the road against a 13-win team. And then all of a sudden you go through all this shit and you could salvage some of this season and start winning and start feeling confident again. You're going to carry that into next year. I don't give a fuck if fucking Tom Brady 2.0 was drafted in this draft that came to this Giants team. If they're not ready to start winning, they don't have that mindset. He's going to fucking will them to win.
Most of the guys... 90% of the guys are coming back. So, I mean, you got to, you know what I mean? You want to build something here.
Yeah, like, dude.
One of the coolest stats, too, that I heard yesterday, and I heard it again today, is they said on the broadcast, so anybody who saw the game saw this, but the Giants have the youngest starting defense in the league, which, I mean, listen, I went on that whole thing about, opportunistic with fucking getting turnovers and stuff like that, not being really sustainable to that degree, which is still true. But at the end of the day, they are still making plays in the red zone and doing what they need to do to keep their team in the game. And if you're telling me you got a defense that primarily is going to play somewhere between 12 to 15 players and their average age is the youngest in the league, that means you got some room for growth. And hopefully that means that Wink Martindale is not going nowhere because you want to keep him at the helm.
Let's hope so. I think they kind of figured it out.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Troy Aikman even said it at the end of the year. He brought up that conversation, him and Joe Buck during the broadcast. And he was basically like alluding along the lines where he's like, look, it's football. Shit gets heated. There's arguments. People get pissed at each other, and when you're winning, he goes, all that shit gets masked. But when you're not, it comes out a little more, and they were winning for a little bit. So then it's like, you know what, y'all put me in this fucking hole. What the fuck you want me to do? Like, you know what I mean? Tell them to stop turning the fucking ball over. Why don't you get a first down? Or why don't you stop them on third down? That's all it is. It's just them going at it because you're in the heat of the moment. Players do it with teammates all the time. there's always a little bit of scuffle with a teammate here and there because the dude pissed you off. You're trying to motivate him and get him going. But, it's football. And that's why I don't think Wink's going anywhere. But, listen.
It's a man sport.
Mike, you called it last night. It's absolutely a man sport. But Mike,
it's not filled with Dylan Mulvaney's.
It's a children's game played in a man. It's a man sport playing a children's game. That's what
basically.
No Dylan Mulvaney's in that team.
Right,
bro. Why you gotta hate on my girl Dylan, bro?
No, it's a man, John.
Look, if you want to talk about something, I thought Pinnock played a fucking fantastic game last night. And then Mike, you called it. Banks might have made it play the game, at least on defense with that stop, with that fucking deflection. That was a
Hollywood play right there, bro.
He's our Sauce. He's our Sauce Gardner.
I don't know if he's as good yet, but you know what? I don't need Gardner on my team. I need a capable, really good cornerback one. And if that's what this kid is, fuck it. I'm all in. Bank that shit. You know what I mean?
And draft a quarterback too. That shit'll be fucking nasty.
For real.
I said it yesterday too. I think it's worth mentioning on the podcast. But his name's Trey Hawkins, right? The second. Bro, listen. There's positions in football that you want the name brought up all the time. You want your wide receivers, your running backs, your quarterbacks. You want their names brought up all the time, fucking as being playmakers. Offensive linemen, defensive backs. You don't want to hear their names at all in the game. You're not hearing their games at all.
It's a turnover, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but I just mean like if you can pick, okay, you're going to hear this player's name all the time, and every once in a while he's going to get a turnover, or you're never going to hear his name, and he's not going to get any real turnovers. I'm going to take the guy who never gets his name called because that means he's not getting abused by whoever he's across from. He's holding his own, and the quarterback's not throwing the ball his way, which is exactly what you want from a cornerback. So if, Joe Shane and Dable and, Wink were able to go in there and, get this kid who's, an outstanding playmaker, it seems like, and, Deontay Banks, and then also later on in the draft, fill CB2 with, a third-round pick or whatever it was, fifth-round pick. Fifth-round pick, I think he was, Trey Hawkins. I mean, talk about fucking a 1-2 punch, bro. That's fucking phenomenal.
Well, that's how you build teams through the fucking draft. All right, guys. Is that a wrap? You want to take a break and get into these picks? John's favorite segment?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna just cut out for the picks. You guys can do that.
All right, we'll be if you want to make some money, we'll be right back with some picks, NFL picks. We'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back on the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's Sean.
Well, real quick, make sure you like and subscribe. You can find this on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate the support and love. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Mike, you got any countries on the list, bro?
Huh?
Any countries on the list?
Any new countries that we haven't seen pop up on our map yet?
No, yeah. We have to give a shout out to the countries that come in every once in a while.
It's been a while since we went through that.
Yeah, we have. We haven't done that in a minute. Let me see. I'll take a quick.
It was cool, man. Like, it's one thing for just local people that there's some geographical influence over who's favorite teams and stuff like that, but not to see people not only just across the country, but in just random continents across the world listening to our three dumbasses talking about football is pretty fucking cool.
Well, it was funny. I mean, obviously United States listens to us, but guess what country made the fucking list? Italy.
Yeah,
Italy is up there. So figures. Then you got India, United Kingdom again. They're always up there. Mexico, Austria, Chile, Indonesia, Ireland, and Venezuela. So we got.
That's a big shout out to all of them, of course. But Italy, that's what's up, kid. All right,
that boot.
Red, white, and green, baby. Red, white, and green.
All right, guys. All right. Let's go. Go Irish.
If Tommy DeVito's last name was Tommy McCallum, bro, you would be fucking playing bagpipes right now. Come on.
Yeah, I would be wearing a skirt, a kilt, whatever you want to call it. It'd be out of control. It would be. There's no doubt about it. I'll be drinking Guinness all the fucking time.
There'll be 4-leaf clovers and fucking leprechauns running all over the place.
Oh, did I have flags, giant flags with the fucking it'd be absolutely nuts. All right, guys, let's go to these picks. We got Saturday games. We got the Thursday game. First game is the Thursday game at Vegas against the Chargers. Vegas is -2.5. Herbert's out for the year now. Chargers going downhill quick. Vegas is playing. They got a better team. Let's go Vegas.
I think Vegas for sure, bro. Like, the guy's name is like Easton Stick or some shit like that. That's starting quarterback. Easton Stick.
Ain't that a
That's
baseball
a guy
bat?
come in and throw 4 touchdowns, but Easton Stick, he sounds like a fucking promotion for a little league or something.
It's aluminum baseball bat.
Yeah, exactly. That's the last time I remember Easton.
Yeah,
Easton
we're taking
Stick.
we're taking Vegas. That's going to be our community key bet right off the bat.
I agree.
There's no doubt about that.
That might bury my
Saturday
fucking
games already,
fantasy
guys.
team. I have Herbert on a couple of teams. I'm like, this motherfucker, Easton Stick.
Yeah, he's been sticking for weeks now.
Oh, yeah.
Time they shut him down. All right, so we got Saturday games for the first time. We got 3 of them all day Saturday. First game is at 1:00 at Cincy. They're -3.5 against Minnesota, who's probably going to start Case Keenum or whoever they get, Nick Mullins, whoever they fucking got there.
Yeah, I know Nick. Right, because what happened to your boy Dobbs?
He's fucking benched. Yeah, no, it sucks, man. I was rooting for the kid, but he kind of sucked the last couple weeks. So
you were rooting for the kid with no eyebrows?
Yeah, the no eyebrow guys.
That's dangerously close to Kadarius Toney, bro.
Kadarius.
We didn't even bring that up with the whole Mahomes thing, crying.
We'll get there. We'll get there. It's coming.
Being on sides and shit, bro.
Kansas City's later. What a dumbass. Fuck Kadarius. But Cincinnati's playing pretty hot right now with that guy Browning. That's the guy I probably have to pick up like tomorrow.
No, and here's gonna be I'm gonna fucking just keep pouring it on with this bullshit just cause, right? This is my way of fucking getting back. Oh, so you mean to tell me that this Browning guy with this Cincinnati offense actually looks pretty good? Since that's just all Joe Burrow? Is that what I'm hearing here? Because if he wins this game against Minnesota, who's also another playoff contending team, I mean, well, what the fuck does that say about your quarterback position? Maybe you don't need to take one number 1 overall.
Yep.
But anyhow,
I kind of like Minnesota getting the points.
I do too, a little bit.
I think it's a real tight game.
I think it's definitely gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be a good week to watch.
Yeah.
I know I'll probably be betting on it all day because I'll be fucking at the sports book. So whatever.
All right, let's ride with Minnesota. I like that.
We'll ride with the Vikings.
All right, next game is the 4:30 game on Saturday at Indy. Which is their defense scores fucking touchdowns every week. It's fucking phenomenal. They're playing Pittsburgh. Indy's favored by 2.5.
Is Jonathan Taylor playing?
I don't care. Who does Pittsburgh have a quarterback now? Trubisky still?
I think it is still the fucking
that guy. He sucks. He fucking stinks. And some Giant fans wanted him as a bridge quarterback. I'll never forget that. I'm like, you dumbass.
He does suck, man. Yeah,
I'm riding with Indy. They're at home.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, listen, Indy's still got a shot at the division. They're only a game out, That's another. Listen, this Saturday is actually really starting up to look like a really good day of football.
Yeah.
You have some really key big matchups with a lot of playoff implications in the first 2 games right there.
Yeah. Who do you like, John? You like Indy or Pitt?
Only my gut is telling me Pittsburgh. I don't know what it is. I don't have any logical reason behind it, but just sometimes
you say that a lot about Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I don't. Do I? I definitely say it about the Patriots. Unfortunately, because of Bill Belichick. But
poor guy.
Yeah, I'm a gut guy. For some reason I go Pittsburgh here, even though you guys both won Colts.
You know what's funny?
I don't love them. I would love them if I knew Jonathan Taylor was 100% healthy at home. With the way that defense has been playing, Gardner Minshew's a good backup quarterback. I just don't see this. I don't know. If it was in Pittsburgh, my gut would be feeling different.
I got you. All right. Probably with Indy. All right. Next game at Detroit. They're -4.5 against Denver. Yo, Detroit's defense is fucking horrible. Their pass defense is complete shit. If Detroit don't score a lot of points, they don't win. I'm taking Denver, man. I'm riding with Denver. They're playing a lot better with Sean Payton. Sean Payton got that team playing good, man.
I actually go Lions here, man. I think they start riding the ship for the playoffs. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC North.
They have to. I mean, they fuck up and lose another game, and Minnesota ends up winning. All of a sudden, it's a 1-game lead and they have to play each other, if I'm not mistaken, later in the year. Like, the Lions have way too much on the line. As a matter of fact, they play the Vikings the following week. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I see that that Minnesota wins in the morning, I would probably go huge on Detroit later on in the day.
Okay. All right. All right. Now we're on to the Sunday games. At Green Bay. Green Bay is -3.5 against Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
Tough one.
But that's another good game again. Like there's some really good fucking games on, especially like, I feel like the Giants game was fucking, wasn't Monday night and we already played for this week.
Yeah, right.
There's some good football here. Like, that's gonna be a tough match again. We're looking at what they're -3 against the Bucs. They're at home.
3.5.
Damn, dude.
I don't know about it. So I want to take Green Bay. I think, but I don't know. It's tough, man. Tampa.
You know what?
I'm actually going Green Bay here. I think they bounced back.
They were a hot team. They beat the Chargers, the Lions, and the Chiefs coming into that Monday night game against the Giants. I mean, prior to that, they beat the Rams. They lost to the fucking Steelers. They kind of righted the ship a little bit. Jordan Love has been playing a little bit better than he had at the beginning of the season. I got to go with the home team there. That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's the theme so far. When it's a tough week, like it looks like this is like turning out to be, you almost lean towards the home team.
I agree with that. All right, well, this is the next game. This home team I'm not taking ever. Is Atlanta's at Carolina. Atlanta's -3.5. I'm taking Atlanta. I will never bet the Carolina Panthers. I've seen them watch football, and it's just terrible. It is so bad. It is so fucking bad.
You're going with the Panthers over the Falcons?
No, I'm taking Atlanta, bro. You crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Carolina, it's horrible. It's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know if they're not well coached or they just have no talent or both. I don't know.
They might just not care to win.
They're bad, and they're giving their pick to fucking the Bears.
They're tanking.
Yeah, they're tanking for the Bears. They're tanking for the Bears. That's how.
Front office tanks. Players don't. Players decide to ship the cars home. That's all
they just suck. That's all it is. They
not a good team. They're not a good team, man. Bryce Young ain't ready. No, and listen, the Falcons are in that. They're fighting with the Saints. They're fighting with fucking that whole division. So yeah, that's a big game for the Bucs. It's a big game for them.
Yep.
I mean, I can see the Falcons fucking up, but no, I don't think so, and they're gonna win that game.
No doubt.
Can we do a speed round over the next 5 games?
We could try. At Giants. Giants are getting 5.5 at New Orleans, though. Sorry. I mean, I'm riding this DeVito fucking trip all day.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Fuck, we talked enough about that. Baby. All right, next game.
I want to say they're the underdog, so
Yeah, you gotta take the points. At Tennessee, they're -2.5 against Houston. Oof. I'm going Houston.
I think Houston bounces back, but if they don't, then them losing Tank Dell for the season was huge in CJ Stroud's fucking thing.
It is.
He hasn't been the same since they lost.
They really have, but he did go against the Jets defense. So I mean, that's
but the week before that, he wasn't that great either.
He wasn't. Yeah, it sucks when you lose your fucking #1 fucking wide receiver that just gets open downfield all the time, and it sucks. I lost him too in one of my fantasy leagues. But yeah, I'll go with Houston and see if they bounce back against Tennessee.
Tennessee's coming off that big win in Miami. I don't know if they either build on that or they kind of like what we say shot their load. So
that game looked fixed. Fuck that game. All right, next game at Cleveland. They're -3.5 against the Bears. Cleveland's good at home.
I go Cleveland here all day. It's not even a thought.
Yeah,
I like Cleveland
a lot. All right, good. Next game at Miami. The Jets got to come to town. At Miami's favored by 9.5. They destroyed the Jets in New York. They're going to destroy them again, I think. Jets have no firepower against them.
Yeah, and the Jets will be fucking going on vacation.
The only thing I say there is if you're really betting the games, wait till Sunday. And I want to see how healthy Tyreek Hill is. Tua doesn't look like the same quarterback without help. He just doesn't. And all of a sudden, you put Sauce Gardner on Waddle, and now that defense can stop the run. Tua's got to beat you with whatever else of that team. I don't know if he can. He ain't lighting them up. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know that Miami ran the ball over the Jets last time, like literally all over them.
Was that the Anchi game we had like 200 yards?
Dude, it was like it was all of them. It was fucking all of them. I'm not taking the Jets. All right, next game at Kansas City, not at New England. Kansas City's -9.5. Kansas City's, they don't look good, man. They don't look right. The refs are fucking that team up, and they just don't look good, man. They don't score points like they used to, man.
If
I
they
literally
don't
had to
come
bench
back,
Mahomes in one of my fantasy in our fantasy league, Jules. I had to start Dak and bench. I had Mahomes on my bench.
don't do it. Well, you're at least on a bye this week, so you don't even have to worry about that.
No, I don't. I know, but yo, Dak puts up 35. Mahomes puts up like 19. It's like it's
Yeah, I
easy.
know. He hasn't been lighting it up this year
It's
at
different
all.
when you
Cowboys,
got
bro.
Tony lining up on the opposite teams. Look what a bonehead. Don't give the refs the opportunity to make that call. Why are you lining up there?
And then Mahomes' reaction, running off like a little crybaby, slamming his fucking helmet on the sideline. He goes to hug Josh Allen. He starts screaming at Josh Allen. That's a
Like Josh Allen gives a fuck.
Yeah, he's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. You know, he bullshit calls you've got in the
Right. He's like, I won, bitch. I don't care.
Oh, he might have been upset because Kadarius Toney did that, not because of the refs.
No, but
That could be it. And maybe he got
Bro,
so
you
kind of showing, hey, I don't want to show Tony up.
but he was quoted during the center, like the midfield exchange between the two quarterbacks, him and Josh Allen. He was like, it was quoted. They had the audio up on top of him and everything. And he was just like, yo, yeah, good game, whatever. He's like, that was such a bullshit call. I've never seen it like that before. And ran off the fucking field. And Josh Allen just kind of looked at him and was like, well, you lost, bitch. Peace.
Yeah.
And he was he was going after the referee on the sideline.
I know.
That's how insane he went. And then fucking Andy Reid tried to stick up for it.
Yeah,
Usually we'll get a warning on that type of play.
Crazy.
What? Yeah, I saw a Facebook breakdown of it. Number one, he was offsides clearly. Number two, they had an illegal formation. The other end wasn't even on the properly.
Yeah,
Really?
couple of fractions.
All on the same fucking play, and then they ran a pick, and that's the reason why Travis Kelce was able to throw the ball wide open back to him because they ran a fucking pick. The kid fucking Tony was wide open on it. So, dude,
I tell you what, though. I tell you what. Next game, I guarantee you, Kansas City gets every fucking call against New England.
That's why I think they're gonna go up. I think they're gonna spank New England. You want to talk about a team that's tanking? You don't even know if Bill Belichick is going to be there next year.
He said he's out at the end of the year.
In possession. That's what I'm saying.
He did?
That team. Well, I don't know if he officially said it.
Not officially, but that's the rumor going around that he's out at the end of the year.
And he's going to leave
Where's
the
he gonna
franchise in position to get a franchise quarterback.
Big wings job.
Tanking, dude. I think I can see.
Next job. Imagine he says, I just want to be a defensive coordinator now. I want to go home.
Take wings. Imagine Belichick coming back to defensive coordinator.
I mean, I would love it, but that's it was genius. But I honestly I could see Kansas City winning like 20-3.
Yeah, right. I can't see New England scoring that much.
Yeah.
All right, we're rolling with them. All right, at the Rams, they're -6.5 against Washington. Why is that spread so low?
Is it really that low? It's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown, but you would think
bro, it's not that low. It's about right.
You would think the Rams would just blow out Washington, but Washington, I don't know. They got that sneaky offense. I think I like the over in this game, whatever that is.
49 currently.
Ooh, see what I mean? They like the over too.
I mean, listen, I think the Rams are definitely going to win this game.
I think they're going to win, but I think Washington kind of covers. It's one of those games for me. What do you think?
Washington thinks that they're going to fucking get like Marvin Harrison Jr. and tank for him and fucking ruin his career.
Yeah, right. You like the Rams, Schules?
I do, man. Yeah, the Rams are another team, bro. They're another team fighting in that playoff spot. They're at 6-7.
I don't want to say this, but I have to go Rams here.
Go with the Rams. All right. Rams.
And it's fucking Washington, bro. Fuck them.
All right, we'll see.
Happy they're fucking ahead of us again. Last time that happened,
I might be texting you guys.
Picking Chase Young, or where's he right now?
I might be texting you guys.
Round pick for him, and fucking he's in San Francisco, and he's playing better than he ever did for Washington. So
we'll see. All right, next game at Arizona. San Fran comes to town. San Fran is -13.5. Yeah, I'll take Sam. I'm not betting Arizona against San Fran. That'd be fucking stupid. You know what I mean?
I mean, San Francisco controls their own destiny for the #1 seed at this point.
Yeah, they're a powerhouse. They're a powerhouse. It's all day, San Fran. All right, next game.
I can't wait for the Giants to be a fucking 12-win team again, bro.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
Let's wrap up these fucking picks.
It'll be nice. All right, next game at Buffalo. They're -2.5 against Dallas. I'll take Dallas. Dallas is on fire, man.
Yeah, but Dallas is going on the road again. They're going on the road. They're going to Buffalo. It's going to be cold up there. It's not like they're not playing in all these like friendly environments like they've been playing the last few years, like few weeks. And listen, Buffalo's got way more to play for. I get it. Dallas can win the division. Dallas can technically even take the number 1 seed at this point. But they got more fight in them right now. I think. I'm just saying, like, show me out in the cold weather. This will prove if Dak really is in the MVP running or not. For now, my money's on Buffalo though.
All right, John, up to
Buffalo.
you. All right, Buffalo it is. All right, last game for the Sunday
Cowboys,
night game.
dude.
I mean, listen, I kind of like Dallas. All right, next game, the last game, the Sunday night game at Jacksonville. Baltimore is -3.5 against Jacksonville. I thought Lawrence's career was over, but then he came back and played. But yeah, Ravens all day.
Ravens all day.
Yeah, no doubt. No fucking doubt about it. I ain't fucking that high.
I'm just, you know what it is? It's just hard.
And then next game, let's go Seahawks and wrap it up, boys.
Philly is at Seattle. Yes. Philly's playing like shit. Seattle. It's in Seattle on Monday night.
Philly.
Can't pick the Eagles. Sorry, guys.
Philly doesn't turn it on. They're a hoax. They're a fraud. It's over. Like,
Seattle.
I think they go and they kick the living shit out of Seattle, bro. I hate to admit it. You know, I despise that team. I hate the city. I don't even want to go visit Philadelphia. There's no reason to go there. So
I know John's taking Seattle. So Seattle
that's trash.
Jules, I have one question before we wrap up. When was the last time you had a cheesesteak?
In Philly?
Period.
Oh, last time I had a cheesesteak was maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. That's the answer I was hoping for.
What, you had steak?
Bro. Of course I love them fucking things. But I don't call them Philly cheesesteaks, though. I call them cheesesteaks. Because you know why we make them better in New York than they do down there. Fuck out of here, Pat and Gino's, that garbage.
I heard you fried some steakums and put some fucking cheddar cheese on that shit.
Yeah,
listen.
Cheese whiz, bro. Cheese whiz is the move.
Key bets, guys. Key bets, real quick. We already took Vegas as our community key
as a community one, right?
The Ravens is one.
I'm taking.
Niners.
Take Ravens. Okay. John takes the Ravens. I'm going to take Indy. And Jules, you got to pick one.
The Eagles.
And the
Son of a bitch.
All right, guys, that's a wrap.
It's literally that, bro. If they don't win that game in impressive fashion, then I am gonna rip fucking Philly a new asshole because all that talk they had all year long, you guys ain't shit. So I will do that just for fun.
That's a wrap. It's
That's
over.
it. Yo, it's a whole new fucking era for cutlet football for the New York Giants here. All right, enjoy it. It's a great time. It's good to win. You see the locker room happy. That's what fucking matters. And it was great to see people at the game last night. They're still paying tickets. They're still season ticket holders. They don't want to go and watch this team fucking tank. They want to see a team go out there and put on that kind of a performance and actually pull out these wins. It's exciting. It's good football. And hopefully when we come back next week, we can continue this saga with a whole new chapter to it with the New Orleans Saints going down. But we'll see. Until then, be safe. Bet football, drink a lot. You know how we usually do on the weekends. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Go DeVito.